Field note number 43, the free resource no one in pet sitting uses, and why it matters more than your insurance policy. Many pet sitters treat insurance as their safety strategy. It's not. It's the backup plan after something has gone wrong. A quick Google search turns up a screen full of experts talking about their top 5 claims and the importance of workers' compensation and general liability coverage. The discussion often drifts from cost to a vague idea of somehow working safety into your operations. What gets discussed far less often is this: where should you look for guidance on building an actual safety program for your business? The real starting point is OSHA. This is where the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, better known as OSHA, comes in. OSHA is both the starting point for preventing injuries, and when a safety program falls short, the agency employers might ultimately have to answer to. So before you ever asked to show OSHA what you have to offer, let's take a look at what OSHA has to offer you. Here's your OSHA Did You Knows. The OSHA website, you will find information on everything from protective footwear to hazardous materials requirements, along with free resources to help you identify and address a wide range of workplace hazards. More importantly, OSHA offers at no cost confidential on-site consultation programs for small and medium-sized businesses. That program is separate from enforcement and isn't designed to help employers identify hazards, improve safety and health programs, and address their concerns before they become bigger problems. Compliance assistance specialists in OSHA's regional and area offices around the country provide outreach to a variety of groups free of charge. These groups include small businesses and other employers, trade and professional associations, unions, and community and faith-based groups. Yes, you really can sit down with an OSHA consultant, talk through concerns about your business, and get practical guidance without that consultation resulting in citations or penalties. And did I mention it is free to do so? You can find free templates for things like safety and health programs and their leading indicators, safety and health program self-evaluations, job hazard analysis worksheets, and even an example of a safety and health program, all available on the OSHA website at osha.gov/safety-management. Before OSHA ever asks what your business is doing about safety, make sure you know what OSHA is willing to do for you. So why do I need a safety professional? As a safety professional, I'm not afraid of OSHA. I see it as the leading authority in shaping safe workplaces and strong safety cultures. While OSHA offers extensive tools, guidance, and support, your safety program still depends on having a competent person who can design it, evaluate it, and adapt it to the realities of your business. That is where a safety professional comes in. Recently, I was speaking with a colleague from the behavior side of the pet care world, and she said something very interesting. We desperately need someone to talk about this kind of stuff from someone who has worked or walked in our shoes. For some businesses, this role is assigned to an experienced team member. Others invest in a dedicated safety position. And for many in pet sitting, it may exist as a part-time function or an external consultant. The structure can vary, but the responsibility does not. When I put on my safety professional hat, I look at pet sitting and dog walking through a very different lens. I pay attention to the conversations happening across Facebook groups, podcasts, and YouTube. I hear from solo operators and from companies managing teams of 50 or more. And one thing is clear: building a safety culture in this industry is not simple. In some cases, we are struggling to manage remote and mobile teams. It does take intentional leadership to mobilize a workforce that is constantly in motion, moving from home to home, client to client, while still keeping safety top of mind in every decision that they make. Now layer in what we know about behavioral safety research. Many team members are working alone, without immediate supervision or support. That is a hazard in and of itself. It introduces variables like isolation, delayed response in emergencies, and increased reliance on individual decision-making under pressure. Which leads to the real question: how do we meet this challenge? Ask yourself, could your team recognize a behavior-based risk before it escalates? If you're responsible for safety, whether that's you or your team, you need a skill set. And this is exactly what I'll be breaking down at the PSI Focus Summit on May 6th. Next week, I'll be speaking at PSI's Focus Summit on what I consider the industry's most important and most overlooked foundational skill. Behavior knowledge is your frontline injury prevention strategy. I'll be reframing how we think about behavior, not as a nice-to-have skill, but as a core safety competency. Because when you truly understand animal behavior, you gain something far more valuable than a reaction. You gain predictive control. And that shift is often the difference between preventing an incident and filing an insurance claim after the fact. In other words, behavior knowledge is not just about better care. It is a frontline injury prevention strategy. If you haven't signed up for PSI's Focus Summit on May 6th, it's worth a serious look. The conversations happening there are exactly the kind that move this industry forward, not just in growth, but in professionalism and safety.